Is left available for Hull and Huddersfield now after their defeats in the Challenge Cup fourth round. Heartbreaking for Hull, controversially for Huddersfield. It's almost impossible to say which set of players is hurting most, but bounce back they must, and these are the players who'll try to do exactly that. Hull first, and Liam Colbon missed last week's cup tie but has played in the last three in Super League. Ben Crooks, Joe Rundle both out, so Richard Whiting plays in the centre. Up front, there's a big boost in that Gareth Carvell is back after 6 games absent. Skipper Gareth Ellis has served his 2-match ban for a shoulder charge against Widnes. He returns to the second row. It all means that 21-year-old Dean Hadley, who's come through the Hull Academy system, drops to the bench, as does Josh Bowden, having started last week as well. No place for Palliasina or Liam Watts, who were substitutes last Thursday night, and the coach is Lee Radford. For the Giants, an unchanged back line. Aaron Murphy makes his 50th Giants appearance, and it'll be fascinating to see how skipper Danny Brough responds to last week's controversy. Huddersfield want him at his brilliant best. Can he produce his Man of Steel form? In the forwards, Antonio Kafusi gets a start. He replaces Earl Crabtree in the starting 13. There's an enforced change in the second row where Brett Ferris starts his 5-game ban for the ugly tackle on Johnny Lomax. So Ukumatai makes only his second start of the campaign. A couple of changes on the bench too. Crabtree and Michael Lawrence are there, having started last week. David Fayumu's back home on compassionate leave. His mum is seriously ill in New Zealand. 19-year-old prop forward Josh Johnson will try and grab a chance. Coach of the year last year was Paul Anderson. So earlier on, they launched their big charity initiative with the Yorkshire ambulance here at the KC Stadium. It's Hull's chosen charity for the next 3 seasons. And it's the Huddersfield Giants who are first out. They're struggling to come to terms with the higher expectations that last season's table-topping campaign has brought to them. 8th in Super League. They've only got 2 wins so far, and a season already that could be described as near yet so far away for Hull. They lost to an extra-time drop goal in the Cup, a 4 of 7 in Super League, but the widest margin of defeat was only 12 points, so they're close, but not quite close enough. It's a perfect night, it's dry, the pitch in magnificent condition, and the referee is Richard Silverwood, the man in the middle in the shocking pink. And it's Hull who is going to get this game underway on this Thursday night here on Sky Sports. Whistle blows, Whiting's boot, and away we go. Vital for these two sides. Griggs was the man underneath the kickoff. Oh, and an early little half break from Craig Kopchak.
It's really important that both these sides settle down exceptionally well and early too. Get that confidence back, something that they're lacking. Paul Anderson knows it, that they've got the firepower, but it's in defence that they've had a few problems over the past couple of weeks, and that's been the same for the black and whites. But the return of Gareth Ellis, the skipper tonight, certainly should lift the home side.
Yes, he's been involved there. Gareth Ellis, number 11 in black and white. He's been involved there in the last 2 and now the last 3 tackles. There he is, in as the 4th man there. Sean Lund also is a key figure for the Giants, as is this fellow, Danny Brough. It's a nice little measured kick into the corner, and Jamie Shaw, the young fullback, comes across and cuts out any danger, but he's closed down by the Tongan international Ukumatai.
Well, they put the writing on the wall, haven't they? Paul Anderson, the Huddersfield coach, obviously has told his skipper Danny Brough, we want that ball into the corner, but not high. Don't give any chance for this excitable fullback Jamie Shaw. Give him plenty of space. Oh, there's a Huddersfield player down.
Yes, there is. There's somebody who's flat out, and it's Chris Bailey, I think, the loose forward. Didn't move after going into the tackle. This is a very early concern here. I think he got it all wrong.
Yeah.
He collided with the elbow of Westerman and the top of the hip as well. An early concern then for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, he tried to get the head back from the left-hand side to the right. Couldn't do it, not quick enough, and made big impact against his opposite number, Joe Westerman.
Just got interference in mine all time.
Bailey, 31 years of age. There is Rankin, Jordan Rankin.
Just tell them, Ben, I've got interference in
And
mine
this
all
is
time.
Chris Bailey, substitute in last week's cup tie, formerly with the London Broncos last year. I think it was just a touch of possible concussion, and they look very closely at this, Phil, won't they?
They will, yes. You know, head injuries now are treated with a great more detail than they were in previous years. You know, we no longer just let the player jump up, shake it off and run on. He's hopefully going to be taken from the field now to be properly assessed. In fact, I say that, they say no, they've done their first assessment, he's back on the field.
Well, his legs aren't wobbly, and obviously he recovered very quickly. Just a bit of a bang on the side of the head.
But it looked like a technical problem, does it, for the official?
It's Richard Silverwood, unhappy with something or other. Maybe he's lost communication with his touch judges.
Well, that's ideal, isn't it, as far as Huddersfield are concerned. It will give Chris Bailey a little bit more time to bring himself round. Because it was obvious in my mind that the tactics, if anybody's injured in the opposition, Phil, you normally, if you play the ball, you pick him out, don't you? You try to run to him and see whether he's not 100%.
Well, I hope they don't do that with somebody who's got a head injury, and let's just hope that it isn't a serious head injury. He's left on the field. Lee Radford looking on. He knows that his side need to start well, don't they? I suppose both of them do. I think Huddersfield have got more potential to come from behind and win this game, Eddie. For Hull, I think they need to get in front to give themselves the best chance, because to me their confidence wouldn't be quite as high. You mentioned a player who's very important back in action tonight. For me, it's Sean Lunt playing for the Huddersfield side. He's only played in 2 of the first 7 games, and in those 2 games, Eddie, he wasn't as dangerous as he had been last season. And he obviously, I think, creates a lot of time and space for Danny Brough with the threat he poses around the middle of the field. We're interested to see how he goes tonight. Keep a close eye on him. He played in 26 of the 29 games that Huddersfield played last year in all of the Super League, and he was very, very important in the success his team had.
Yes, and this is only his 4th appearance of 2014. He turns 28 next Tuesday, by the way, Sean Lunt. But there is the key man you just saw there, Danny Brough. He was with Hull, of course. 43 appearances here from 2005-2006.
Yeah, an important cog in this Huddersfield machinery, that's for sure.
Well, the repair's done by the looks of things for Richard Silverwood's equipment.
Yeah, and you talk about Sean Lunt, very talented player, but it's going to be a great contest, isn't it? Because Danny Houghton, the black and white hooker, he's a real star, especially running from dummy half.
Carvel with the drive in, and the kick under pressure is deep, and underneath it again is the fullback Scott Griggs, the Irish international. Richard Whiting gets to him. Oh, he drops the ball to Scott Griggs. It's swooped upon by Jordan Rankin. This is a glorious opportunity for the black and whites, with Ellis, their skipper, returning to the side after suspension.
They'll try to get it wide. You can see Griggs there. I keep saying it. Why on earth do you go into the defender with the ball carrying arm first?
Miller finds Shaw to get it wide, and here's Talanoa. And he gets the ball down, I think.
Don't think he's got it down.
Talanoa, he has played for Tonga in the 2008 World Cup. It's his 4th try of the season. He's been on the wing in all 8 so far prior to tonight. And a try against Salford here last Thursday. Looks like he enjoys his Thursday nights at the KC Stadium. Fetuli Talanoa.
Well, a big error, wasn't it, by the fullback Scott Griggs. Tried to utilise the ball carrying arm to shug away Whiting. I said get him wide, and that's what they did. But look at the 2 beautiful dummy runners. Upper body strength. Talanoa in for the first try. Precise, top quality.
Absolutely. If you think of what's required from the coaching process and Paul Anderson in a big game tonight, Scott Griggs, usually very reliable, as his defence is now tested right across the other side of the field. A loose carry, the loose forward was knocked off his feet on the first tackle. The fullback drops the ball on his first carry, and you've now got to pick that up and run with it.
Well, Talanoa is no slouch. He's a big boy, because Jermaine McGilvery is pretty tall and pretty heavy as well, but he carried McGilvery over the line with him, did Talanoa. And here is Whiting to try and add the extras. Difficult first kick from tight to the touchline, and he doesn't make it. Misses with his first attempt, does Richard Whiting. 10 years now at Hull. Came from Featherstone in February 2004.
Well, that attempt certainly won't give him much confidence, but the good quality play by the black and whites. The utilisation of the 2 dummy runners coming on the back, and that is upper body strength. That's superb.
So Brough restarts then. We were here last to see the match between Hull FC and the Catalan Dragons, start of the season. And if you remember, on that occasion, we had a host of missed goal kicks. The two coaches will be hoping that that doesn't happen again here tonight. But Whiting has missed with his first. Bailey there, number 13 in the white jersey. Looks like he's recovered from that early knock that he took. This is Miller, gets the short pass away.
Amazing what a try can do to a side. You can see that they've already lifted themselves as the home outfit.
And here they come again with Westerman. He almost breaks the line. That was an important tackle from Rukumatai. Rankin dummy half again. Miller then drops the ball off to the prop forward, Mickey Paya.
And good work by the prop as well. Look at the ground that they've made. This should be a high bomb. It's got to be a good one. It's going up.
Yes, high off the boot of Rankin. It's another tester here for the confidence of Grix. He pouches it calmly, and Shaw comes in and finishes the job off.
Well, he wasn't going to make the second mistake, was he? He knew that if you used the ball carrying on before, lost possession on that occasion, I'm going to keep it. Did well. But good tactics by Hull.
Yes,
they put
good
him under
solid set
pressure.
of six, that, wasn't it? Good,
yeah,
solid.
But they put him under pressure, knew that he'd come up with an error.
Now then, here's Danny Brough. Gets the ball wide, but behind everybody. Oh, that's risky. It's risky. And here is Whiting. You're going to score again, Hull. What on earth is happening to Huddersfield in the early moments of this match? Referee hasn't given it yet. He's going to hand this one upstairs to the video referees. He wants to check that the ball hasn't gone out and touch on this near side. Stuart Cummings.
Yes, that's the decision they're looking at. I don't actually think there's much of an issue with it, but you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. Robert Hicks, the toucher, just wanted to check that his view wasn't obscured as it comes down. So it's all about what happens on this touchline here. But it's whether his foot touches the line as he plays the ball. It's certainly very close, and that's what this decision will hinge on. Well, you can see green between his boot and the white line when he plays it. So I think this will be play on from that. It's all about the touch. His foot's in the play there. Where does he touch the ball? That's the point where he touches the ball. His foot's still in the field of play, so that should be play on. And they're now moving to the grounding, I think.
Well, the video referees tonight, Ben Thaler, who's looking at the pictures, operated by Steve Ganson, and Ben Thaler still not 100% convinced by the looks of things. Checking the onside, offside there, Stuart, I think.
Yes, well, the man who kicked the ball, Richard Whiting, he comes through and collects the ball, so there's no problem with the offside.
And the decision is try.
So no contact with the touchline. The chaser, Richard Whiting onside. Try to Richard Whiting. Hull lead by 8 points to 0, and they have this kick to come.
Two mistakes, and they have paid a costly price indeed. Take nothing away from this fella Whiting. Even if he hadn't got to the ball, I think there might have been an interference with a man without touching. I think it might have been Whiting where he was taken out, but it was good for the referee to say play on. Good word by Silverwood.
And can Whiting add the extras? No, he can't. No, he can't. He's missed that by a country mile, actually. But Hull are ahead by 8 points to 0.
Well, I don't know whether Joe Wardle was watching the Parramatta Eels this week, because Jared Hayne attempted something very similar, but he succeeded. He was more aware. He knocked the ball back in play and picked it up and got himself back out of the in goal. That's a massive risk. You've got the back, you're taking the risk, you know, hugely there. You've got no idea where Richard Whiting is, or anybody else piling through in a black and white shirt. 2 mistakes, 2 tries, and the Huddersfield Giants right under the pump.
When you talk about whether a team will miss a player, I just think we've seen a fantastic example of what effect the absence of Brett Ferris will have here for Huddersfield. The ball thrown by Danny Brough has for the last 20 months landed in the arms of Brett Ferris, and they've made countless breaks, Eddie, down the left-hand side of the field, very often turning them into tries. He misses tonight and 4 more games before he'll be back in the side, and that hole's obviously a gaping one at present.
Yes, it's a big miss for Huddersfield, but I think everybody who saw the Challenge Cup tie last week, believes that the sending off was well merited, and he had an appearance at the disciplinary committee this week, and they've decided he's out for 5 matches. So it's a big hole for Huddersfield to fill, and this is a big hole they've got to get themselves out of.
Yeah, well, 2 early mistakes certainly won't lift their confidence, but for the side that's been lacking in it for several reasons, Eddie. That's a good kick and chase, though. That is good work.
Brough is the man in at dummy half, and he turns it infield to Jermaine McGilvray.
There's an old saying in any sport, but especially in rugby league, you know, if you give the opposition 2 silly mistakes, one of course with Scott Grix losing the ball, and then the poor pass from Danny Brough, give them the opportunity, you take your chances, and the Black and Whites have done just that.
And here they are now, the Huddersfield Giants, with Kafusi. Lunt gets the ball away to Bailey. Bailey is collared by the scrum half Jacob Miller. He's had to be patient this year, has Miller. He sat out the first 6 rounds. The kick is easy for Jamie Shaw.
Not a bad chase, though. Good work by Jason Chan.
They won their last home Super League match, did Hull, by 30 points to 8 against Salford. The previous home game, they lost 7-0 to Widnes. It raised a few eyebrows for everyone. It was the Vikings' first ever win on this ground. Shaw has got them to halfway. That was a good play of the ball. This is a great run from Houghton.
Great work from the Huddersfield, from the Hull side. Quick play of the ball. They've just got the Giants going backwards.
Another high bomb here from Miller. And the tester for Grix. Pouches it, but whoa, what a hit from Carvel.
Timed it right. Got the target. And it's that red bit right in what we call the bull. And this was bullish. Bang!
Well, 8-0 is not an unassailable position, certainly at this stage of the game. And for me, it's how are the Huddersfield Giants going to get themselves back into this game and get a foothold. Two massive mistakes, and the try conceded, the first one, wasn't a gap. They literally ran straight into him, pushed them over and scored a try. Do they get back into the game now by completion, kick and chase, or are we going to get presented with what we're seeing at the moment, movement across the field, dropping balls back on the inside and hoping one of them comes off?
Jason Chan on the last tackle, plays the ball. Brough here, heel hoisted high now. Midfield bomb from Brough went virtually straight up in the air. Nobody called for that, so it bounces in the end into the arms of Wardle. He has a fly hack at it as well. Tips it over the top, in towards that in-goal area. Horrible bounce there, and it was lucky for Talanoa that he reacted quickly, because Robinson was hunting the try.
Unexpected. And that's one reason you just cannot relax. He was looking to get back that Talanoa as quickly as possible. This is the incident there. That's a good chase.
They kind of made the best of, or the most of that, Mike, didn't they? You can't think that that was a planned kick. The bomb landed and there wasn't a Huddersfield player anywhere near it. A fly hack on, and then they've chased. Hopefully for the Giants, they might try and graft themselves back into this game.
Goal line drop out for the Black and Whites, taken by Westerman into the arms of Robinson. Looks for the runner, and it's Kafusi. And Kafusi hits and spins, but couldn't get the ball away. Lunt is in there at dummy half then. He gets it away to Craig Kopczak. Solid Black and White defence thus far. And what are we, just 10, 11 minutes into the match. They lead by 2 unconverted tries. Akumatai spins out of one tackle, gets away from Whiting, can't get away from Westerman or Ellis.
It's important now that Huddersfield keep down there. Okay, if they don't score a try, make sure they try to get a second set of 6.
Kafusi takes it forward again, halted just 5 metres or so away from the try line. That was Lunt, and Lunt fires the pass to Robinson. Robinson out wide, and
he was forward anyway.
Put down.
That was a shocking pass there from Luke Robinson.
Aaron Murphy couldn't get the fingertips to it.
Well, the 2 halfbacks on the Giants. Mistake there by Robinson. Before that, Danny Brough. That was a shocking pass. Going forward all the time. No chance.
It's not the best start, this, for Huddersfield. Houghton, great run up the middle. He's got support on his left-hand side with Chewson, but he took the gamble. Shaw now. The black and whites are flooding forward. This is Ellis. And Ellis, well, he gets away from the first tackle from Wardle. The reinforcements there. Whiting hangs on grimly, gives it then to Rankin. Here is Carvel, and Gareth will trundle it forward.
Tremendous break by Danny Houghton. Put them in a good position. This will be a kick for the corner, surely.
Rankin, no, they're running it with Whiting. Now he'll put the boot to ball. It bounces up kindly in the end for Jody Broughton. And Danny Brough was seeking an offside decision then from Richard Silverwood. Liam Colburn effecting the tackle, and Stuart Cummings, Danny Brough looking quizzically at the official.
He was, but that's the law that they brought in last season, where a player can be put back on side if he's not square at marker by just getting to where he should have been in the first place. So if he gets to where the marker position was, he's back on side.
Bailey to his feet then, plays the ball to Lund. Here is Robinson, looks for the runners. It's Jason Chan. I'll deal with the threat. This is the last tackle. They're still deep inside their own half here, the Giants. And Brough is the go-to kicker. Humps it downfield.
Good kick as well.
Now, what's the chase like, though? It's a little laboured, but that's not going to go out. And they're like a dog's hind leg, the Huddersfield chasers here.
Well, they gave up. And that will displease their coach, Paul Anderson.
There's been a variety of different ends to the set so far. The Giants are rattled still by the start. It all kind of went wrong from Bailey being knocked off his feet to the loose ball to the crazy pass that never went to hand. There's no consistency in the way they're trying to get to the back end of the set. I think they dodged the bullet with the previous break from Hull FC. They should have kept on going on the back of the big Horton break and not shifted too soon.
A little break from Houghton again.
Yeah, he's having a great game as a hooker. Always gives 100%. This will be a high kick. Might be a little bit too long.
Broughton's underneath it.
Good take.
Places it safely, and Scott Griggs is not too impressed.
Well, he thought that Gareth Ellis came in late.
Well, it looked to me, and I'm not an expert, it looked to me as though Griggs was acting as the blocker there, Stuart.
Well, Griggs was blocking for the catcher, and he got pushed out of the way. Now, fairly legitimately, in my view, if he's standing there as a block, you know, he's going to get that sort of treatment. He was pushed out of the way, and he didn't like it.
Well, it was a good take in the instant from Broughton, and then he just lost the plot. That was sheer stupidity.
He does get hit in the back pretty hard there, Mike.
Yeah, but it should have been a penalty. I mean, I've got the impression that Griggs did not move. I mean, if you don't
have to move,
no, that's what I'm saying.
You can't be tackling it, can you?
No.
You can't be. If you're acting as a block and a blocker, let's
still
listen to what the referee says.
Where the tackle's going to be made. He's got no option but to go into the back of it. What you can't do then is go and push him whilst he's making a tackle.
Well, Hull are going to get the penalty here.
Well, Stuart, I'd just like to know, I mean, you can't just run into someone without that hasn't got the ball.
But you could argue that you shouldn't be standing in front of a man that's catching the ball. You know, the block is something that's developed over the years. The interpretation, if you're going to block, you've got to be stationary and in front of him. Gareth Ellis is going for the man who's catching the ball. You know, he's entitled to go there.
Well, it's a penalty to Hull, and here comes Mickey Paya. Crabtree is on for Kafusik, and Houghton will give the ball to Carvel. He'll give it to Miller. There's a runner here, and is there a chance for Tucson? He dumps the ball back. It's picked up again.
Well, it's by Shaw, isn't it, the full-back?
It is, Jamie Shaw. He was actually on the goal line. He's back now 10 metres away. It's getting a bit fractious as Rankin has to go for the line. It's going to be another decision here for our video referee, Ben Thaler and Steve Ganson. Just wants to check if it's grounded, Stuart, in one motion by the sounds.
Whether it's a double movement or not, that's what they're looking at. Does his momentum take him over the line, or does he stop short and then put the ball on the line? That's the decision for the video referees. But you can see he's still in possession of the ball, and the ball may well be short at that point. I think it's probably best to have a look at these sort of situations in normal speed, because you can see the momentum a bit better from the player.
I don't think that tells us a great deal on that one, really. We need to know where does he actually get over the line. Richard Silverwood seemed to be fairly certain that he got over the line. He just wanted to know whether there was a double movement.
I think the ball got down, but if it was over the line or on the line, that's the big question. I don't see it as a double movement, do you, Steve-O?
No, it looks short to start with, there.
Well, it definitely ends up on the line, we've seen that.
The apex of the ball is in the field of play there, and then it rolls forward.
So is it momentum that takes him home, or is it a double movement?
It certainly lifted it. That could be construed both ways, but I reckon you can see that he's lifting the arm.
I think it's a great playmaker's try. You want your guys who have to pass and create to sometimes take on the defence, and he does it with such acceleration that he gets on the outside of his first defender, and I think legitimately bounces onto the line.
The trouble is, Phil, there's a definite movement of the right elbow. This is confusing the officials.
Is it a movement or is it a bounce?
I think it's a movement, the movement of the arm. But it's up to Ben Thaler and Steve Ganson. Over to you guys.
And I think they want to watch it at full speed, as you said, right at the start of all this, Stu.
Yeah, they've decided, they've got the information they need, that the ball's ended up on the line. They just want to look now at the whole thing in full normal speed, and that'll tell you whether it gets across the line or not.
Right, so here it is at full speed.
And I think that tells the story that the try's been scored.
Yeah, I think it's a bounce. I'm with you. I don't think it's a double movement.
It's 12-0 with a tough kick to come.
And the decision is... try. The player, it's all one movement.
So all one movement. It was a bounce, and Jordan Rankin gets the third Hull try and his third try of the season.
And again, silly play. Gave away the penalty. Bricks lost the plot. Get out there to play rugby league. Get out there to play with your colours for your team. And it's called the Huddersfield Giants. And again, they pay the price. It's a nightmare for Paul Anderson. What on earth can he do to try to get the minds back? Take full credit there. Jordan Rankin duped the opportunity. If he gets this, and this could be a vital one.
It could be, and it's the third attempt, and it's third time lucky for Richard Whiting. 14-0. It is getting worse for Huddersfield by the minute.
Certainly is. He didn't look too happy, Lee Radford, but I think at 14-0, he realises you take what you are offered. And the Giants, they're offering everything at the moment.
Did you notice in that how the Hull FC halfback isolated Crabtree, a prop forward out wide, ran at him from the play the ball and came away with a score? Wardell was still not square at marker and still arguing with the man who he had attempted to tackle after Scott Griggs had given the ball away for trying to square up to Gareth Ellis. Now, the senior players of the Huddersfield Giants really have to, in game time, get a grip of this and work out a way of how they're going to get to the other end of the field and be able to exploit and utilise some of the talents that they have.
Well, it's a tale of two coaches. It's also a tale of problems, I think, for the match referee, Richard Silverwood. Meanwhile, we'll remind you that Castleford Saints is a top-of-the-table battle. We have for you tomorrow at 7:30, Sky Sports 1, Castleford second, Saints top. Should be a humdinger of a match. And on Saturday, it's 2:25 start on Sky Sports 3 for the latest offering from Perpignan, the Catalan Dragons against the Widnes Vikings. And on Saturday morning at 10 a.m, Sky Sports 1, Soccer AM, the Wigan Warriors make an appearance. 10 o'clock Saturday morning, Sky Sports 1. So tremendous weekend. Carvel will take it back for the Black and Whites.
Interesting now to see whether the Black and Whites have learned from recent experiences. Twice last week in the Cup, they had leads very similar to today, but surrendered them, weren't able to maintain their focus and concentration and play at the level that they've played at here now for 17 minutes.
Well, what a contrast to the last time we saw these two sides meeting on Sky. It was in the playoffs last September, and Huddersfield won on that occasion by 76 points to 18. It marked the end of the road for Peter Gentle as the Hull coach. And here come Hull again with Whiting. He passes inside to Shaw, and Shaw's got Rankin, and Rankin has got Houghton. Hull running red hot. Houghton with the latest try. His 49th consecutive appearance. He was last year's top tackler, and there was no one in white anywhere near him when he went over for that try.
Tremendous play by the black and whites. Again, the utilisation of the dummy runners. See how he came on the loop, did Shaw. Then back on the inside was the fullback. He knew he was going to have to pull the winger. And Danny Houghton, who's having a wow of a game. He started it from the dummy half. Notice how Shaw comes back. Then takes back on the receiving. Back on the inside from Whiting. Excellent play. This is out of the top drawer. This is the black and whites. They're in heaven.
And from bang in front, Richard Whiting adds the extras. And last year's league leaders are struggling. It's 20-0 to Hull.
Well, Phil mentioned a few moments ago the absence of Brett Ferris and how it's having an impact on the Huddersfield Giants side. On that occasion then, the Huddersfield left edge simply backed off Akumatai in the left second row position, went up, stopped, and the whole line just slid and waited for Hull FC to run at them until the winger never moved up and they simply went through a massive hole. I mean, they barely made a break through the line all night, and they're rattling up tries for fun.
Well, there's some very glum faces wearing the amber and claret colours of the Huddersfield Giants, but tonight, of course, they're all in white. And here is Gareth Carvell. The Huddersfield Giants can't win at home in 2014. They're here on the back of a 3-match losing sequence as well. And the last home win was that playoff victory against Hull last September, as I say, 76-18. What a contrast we are seeing here tonight with a quarter of this game gone. This is Carvell.
It's fully deserved as well, especially that last strike.
And the kick from Rankin
Not
is
the best.
patched by Griggs. Great chase though, led by Carvell, led by Westerman, led by Ellis rather, led by Westerman. Let's go down to the sideline. Graham Beecroft.
Yes, just Eddie, when there was a punch-up at the right-hand side of the ground there, just before the try, the match commissioner, Ian McGregor, was trying to make sure that the water carriers did not go on the pitch. A couple of them did, and he has warned them that if they do that again, they will be sent off. And the reason is, until the referee stops the clock, no water carrier is allowed to go on the pitch in that sort of situation.
Okay, so he's obviously keeping a very close watch on things off the field, is the match commissioner, as he should. Chan gets the ball away, but dearie me, that's straight for Miller. And I think Luke Robinson claiming that might have been a possible knock-on.
Okay. Yeah, but Luke Robinson should have been there. You know, when you've got to make someone a half move, that's about the best attacking force that we've seen from the visitors. Someone should have been there. Look, there was not one person on the Huddersfield side.
Mike, it's probably the best quarter of rugby that Hull have played as well this season. Whether they can do it for the next 3 quarters, well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Look, they've made 5 breaks, not a single one allowed, but because the defence has been so good. A wonderful performance. You'd expect them to be ahead with the stats that they've got at the moment, and they're certainly making sure that the possession they've got is matched with their passion and pride and giving a fantastic performance.
Ellis to his feet, will play it to Houghton. And then the kick finds touch. Safety first from Jordan Rankin. No messing about.
It's called having brains, a rugby league brain, and Rankin certainly has that tonight. He knows they've got a 20-point lead. Dink it into the corner. Put more pressure on the opposition. They're lacking in confidence. Boy, the black and whites are.
I wrote on the Sky Sports website, Eddie, this week that I thought Hull were like an amateur darts player. They're capable of throwing a triple 20, but with the next dart, they're almost capable of missing the board. In that first 20 minutes, they look like a side that you can firstly see and feel. This is a top 4 team in Super League. Can they maintain it for the next hour?
Yes, all their 3 wins so far have come here on this home ground of theirs. They were beaten here a week ago in the Cup to Rangi Chase's golden point drop goal. They led 28-18 with 15 minutes to go. It ended up to be Brian Noble's last game. This is Crabtree. And Crabtree gets the Giants to halfway. Here is Robinson now, looking for Brough. Brough had to stretch for that. And the kick is in the air, and Shaw has funneled across. Claims it on the full.
Great position there by the youngster, Jamie Shaw.
Well, he's playing really good this year, isn't he? So exceptional that Shannon McDonnell is surplus to requirements. And the Black and White's looking to try and end McDonnell's contract in the best possible terms for both parties.
And that's
Carvel.
And that's a good tap on the back as well for the new coach, Lee Radford. He makes it quite clear, if you're not up to it, then I'm afraid you're not going to be selected. That was a forward pass. That's the first real error that they've come up with. And he knows it too. They have just not allowed the Giants to get even started. And that won't go down as a copybook pass, will it?
Commentators curse, Steve. We're talking about how good Shaw is, and look what happens to him.
Yeah, well, he's a better fullback than a dummy half, that's for sure.
So forward pass, Huddersfield will get possession here, 10 metres inside the whole half. And it'll be taken forward by the Scottish international Joe Wardle. Lunt gets the ball in field again to Ukumatai.
If ever there was a side that needed to try to lift at least some confidence running through their veins, it's the visitors, the Giants. That's good defence.
It's tremendous stuff by Kurt Eamon. Wasn't letting Griggs have a second on the ball to think. This is Michael Lawrence now.
We haven't seen Huddersfield utilise a dummy runner as yet.
And there was the first from Lunt. Gets to within 5 metres of the line. This is the last tackle here for the Giants, so it's with Brough inevitably. He skips away from 2, skips away from 3, running laterally, showing the ball to Griggs, dabs the ball then to the in-goal area. It's a good kick too, and Shaw is there, but he was going absolutely nowhere because Aaron Murphy saw to that.
Well, it was an ad hoc, ad-lib play. I don't think for 1 second the Huddersfield Giants have set that set of 6 up at any point in the training week, and it was the skill and pace of Danny Brough that skipped around the back and left-footed that ball through to the in goal. Now, they've got to restart from it under the sticks. A second chance in this game so far to build some double treble sets and put some pressure on the defensive systems of Hull FC.
And I think their coach, Paul Anderson, fully aware they need to get some points on that board.
Well, I mentioned earlier on the last time that these two met, the Giants won in the playoffs. Whoa, Crabtree! Solid run, and he was lifted off his feet by the tackle. The last win for Hull against the Giants was also in playoff football here, by the way. 2012, 46-10. It avenged a defeat in the Cup by Huddersfield here earlier that season. Robinson.
It needs someone with the confidence to take them on. Maybe Sean Lunt. We've seen a little skirmish a bit earlier.
And here's Griggs again.
Great defence. They're getting in amongst them. Right into their faces. They're not allowing the Giants to move at all. Oh, this is a good penalty.
Referee shouted actually for Liam Colbon to release the player. He did, but Richard Whiting didn't. Hence the penalty for the Giants. And it's a Kumatai again. Gets them to within 10 metres on the first tackle. That was Lunt. Here is Brough. Fires the pass to Robinson. Robinson looks for the runners. It's Lawrence.
Didn't confuse the defence, though. They had it all squared up. They're moving as a unit. Look at that. That's great stuff.
And Brough with a booming pass out wide. Looking for Broughton. And Broughton gets around Colbon easily and touches down in the corner. Is that the spark that the Huddersfield Giants require? Is that a game changer for the Huddersfield Giants? Jody Broughton and his coach Paul Anderson will hope so. They're back in the match, a match that was in danger of slipping away from them.
First opportunity to have any real possession, any threat to apply pressure, in and out. That was a good finish in the end, but the pass from Danny Brough, outstanding. We know what he's capable of. He hasn't performed it up until now, but as you say, Eddie, this could just be the turning point. Super stuff. They have the numbers there, but Broughton too quick.
Done in the rookie here now. So you talk that I'm ball. Let's have intent with our shooters. Let's take the punch to ground, all right? Yeah?
So it's Brough with the ball. opportunity to add the extras here. It's a difficult kick for Brough for his first of the night. Tight to the touchline. And Brough, now then, that's inside the posts this time. I just held my breath for a moment there, Stuart Cummings, because these posts, as you said on Boots and All last night, they're pretty short.
They are pretty short, and certainly no help to the officials, but luckily that one dropped just down the level of the post, so we saw it went inside.
There's no set rules about height of posts, is there?
Just the minimum height, a minimum height of 12 metres, and they're about that.
So 12 metres minimum. And maximum it can go up, like as Rodstad described it on Backchat this week, like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, as long as as high as they want, and the higher the better, in my opinion.
Big Earl Crabtree, Eddie, has made an impression since he got onto the field. He's tending to play a little bit towards the right-hand side of the Huddersfield go forward, and he's clattered that massive frame into contact a couple of times per set ever since he's been on the field. He's made a difference since he's come off the bench.
Kumatai, seen plenty of it, the second rower. Quick play the ball, that's what they needed, and Lunt will scamper over the halfway line, but there are four there to watch him, and Jeremiah, and also Jordan Thompson. Two substitutes have come off the bench, and they saw there was nothing in that as far as Hull were concerned. That's a great kick from Brough. It was high in the air and brilliantly taken by young Shaw.
Yeah, and great work by Brough as well, not only just for the kick, but he put everyone on side. Once you kick and you run past your own players, then it's play on, and now all that hard work, and they have given away a silly penalty. Not the best from Josh Johnson.
Yeah, a bit too much work on the ground there, I think.
Yeah, done all the hard work, but you've also got to take a look at the difference between the two sides is that when Hull have got the ball, they look excited. They want to get on with it. The Giants look a little bit lackadaisical in that department.
Well, penalties like that come because you've lost collision. If a player can bounce off contact, find the floor, knees and elbows, you're then inviting second efforts to try and turn him on his back and slow it down. Invariably, players don't get that right. I just thought then that Huddersfield had a chance to build some pressure, create a little bit of an arm wrestle. You know, Danny Brough found a gap, and Hull only had one defender at marker, so their line was pretty much intact, and he still found a way through to get the ball to the winger, who beat a man one-on-one to score. So there's a chance to get back in the game, but they may well have just blown it.
This is Miller. He gets the ball away to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is examining this Giants defence. Crabtree was there, so too crucially was Lunt. Jeremiah just gaining a couple of metres off the ground, then gets it to Rankin, and Rankin one-handed gets it away. Kick to the corner from Westerman, looking for Colbon. He tries to palm the ball back and only finds the touchline, so it's the turnover.
He took a huge gamble here, Jody Broughton. Full credit to the black and white, keeping it alive. Westerman. See there now, Broughton didn't want to go for it. Took a gamble, just a touch too long.
Well, they're starting to narrow the gap. We're seeing that, aren't we? And we're also seeing that Huddersfield here now, with that early try, started to make ground with the ball, and they're finding quicker play of the ball. As you can see in the meters made here now, they're starting to get close to their opponents. And the gap, well, it's within sight. They are within sight now with the way they've played for the last 10 minutes.
Here's a possible 40-20 from Luke Robinson. Possible from Luke Robinson, and Shaw, oh, he's turned it into a 40-20. Tried to cut it out at the pass, but instead he got a hand to it and knocked it out. So head and feed coming up here for Huddersfield. Glorious chance to narrow the gap still further.
Brilliant. Absolutely superb from Luke Robinson. If ever a side needed, we said they needed the try, they got it from Broughton. He tried his damnedest, didn't he? But he just couldn't push it back in.
It's a great kick from Robinson.
Certainly is, and it's a wonderful psychological advantage as well if you can score just before the half-time break.
There's a mismatch at the scrum. Hull have 5 defenders, Huddersfield only 4 attackers. Let's see where Danny Brough wants to go.
Well, Brough receives it, gives it to Akumatai. He tried to run straight through the chest of Ellis and Westerman. Took some putting on the ground, but they get him down. Lunt. Short pass to Crabtree. There were 3 there waiting for him. They deal with the threat of the big fellow, but they're 4 metres away. Huddersfield, bags of tackles left in the bank here. Robinson wrestled to the ground. Good defence there from Yeaman. Lunt again, pops the ball up. Just loses his footing at the last moment as Jason Chan.
Dummy from Lunt, go on your own.
Very close to the line, he might fancy it, no. Gives it instead to Robinson, who's 40-20, has produced this position for the Giants. They're at the last tackle, though. Hull will take great heart from this if they defend this next tackle. And defend it they will. Or was it a knock-on by the black and whites in the shape of Whiting? The referee has blown the whistle.
Okay, hand over.
It's a turnover, it's a knock-on by Huddersfield.
Well, I went for the gamble, the short pass, rather than kick into the corner.
Okay, mate, let's go.
It was those little dribbles through, remember, from Danny Broughton, Danny Brough, should I say, that allowed them to get the drop out from underneath the sticks. They went for broke there. Maybe they would have been better served to dink that ball inside the in-goal area.
That really was a Brett Ferris play, Phil, wasn't it? He usually hits the line and cuts in. Akumatai simply not at the speed that Brett Ferris was before he's picked up his suspension.
Huddersfield standing firm. The referee shouts for them to release Aaron Jeremiah, which they do, and then Shaw will have a little scamper from dummy half. Only gets them to halfway, a matter of a couple of metres. Back it comes now, and the kick is all along the deck from Rankin, picked up by Griggs. He's going to give it a bird from the crowd here because he had a bit of a go at the Hull skipper Ellis earlier on. Griggs again.
See the difference between the two sides. Huddersfield look to be panicking every time it gets to the fourth or fifth tackle. Not so for the Hull outfit. They've got Rankin and Miller. They've just teasing, and that was a mile forward.
Well, the second one was. The first was questionable as well. And Lunt has gone for a 40-20 here. Shaw's after this one again. He deals with the threat this time. Decent chase, though, led by Lunt.
Yeah, good kick and chase. And really, you'd remember when they had possession a couple of minutes ago, they really should have done a lot better with it.
Well, you know, from a neutral's point of view, if Huddersfield get over the line for another try before half-time, it really sets us up for a rip-roaring second half here. 20 points to 6 now, 20-12 if Huddersfield score. But it's Yeaman who's having a crack down the left wing for the black and whites. And he's pulled back by Robinson, and Robinson has conceded a penalty.
Well, that's silly play. I don't know what on earth Paul Anderson's going to say at half-time, but, you know, use a little bit of common sense. Referee had already shouted held. He'd already hit the deck. There he is, Anderson. He's got a lot on his plate. Plenty to say at half-time, that's for sure.
Believes the Giants aren't too far away. They're a good side, he says. And they are, of course, being the league leaders last year. They just need a change of fortune. There's the youngest coach in Super League, by the way, Lee Radford, 35. Even younger than Iestyn Harris, who's the new man in charge at Salford Red Devils.
Well, one aspect of improvement Paul Anderson could possibly expect from his charge is if they lose collision, if they're bounced off and the opposition get knees and elbows and are quickest play the ball, don't go back on and cheat. Trust your team and your systems to be able to make the next tackle. They seem incapable of that at the moment.
Rankin, nice little return ball to Jamie Shaw. 2 tackles remaining. Look where they are, the black and whites here. Jeremiah finds Miller. He'll stab the ball into the in-goal area. It's well picked up by McGilvray. Oh, and he does brilliantly well, the big man. Great work from Jermaine McGilvray, and then gets the penalty.
Well, on this occasion, Lee Radford will be furious. There was a lovely little dink in there, and you've got to say that McGilvray did exceptionally well here. 1, get out of that. 2, get out of that. 3, get out of that. Brilliant stuff. Think like that. Just lift the side.
Wait.
Similar process. It was Hull FC's turn this time. Lose collision. What do you do? Go back on, give him a push, put your hand on the ball. It's almost an absolute guaranteed penalty.
It was Josh Johnson again for Huddersfield. 5 metres inside his own half. Plays the ball to Wood. Here is Brough. Gets it away to Ty. They're looking for the likes of Ty and Crabtree to be really physical. Wood. Short ball again to Johnson. He'll play it to Wood. Wood then to Brough. And Brough will have a scamper at them. Ball down by Thompson. Played the ball to Crabtree. Robinson. Crossfield kick. Well watched by Ellis.
Yeah, it's been around too long. This fella, Gareth Ellis, to not realise that when they go down that right-hand side, there's going to have a good chance that it's going to go back towards the sticks. Read it perfectly.
What a handful Talanoa is as well. Laid the ball to Jeremiah. That's good defence, though, led by Robinson. And Murphy was there, so too was Wood.
The Giants can really do themselves a favour here by going into the dressing rooms at half-time with a little bit of momentum, not giving a penalty away on this set, and then returning with the ball with a little bit more venom. Hull FC, we know it's proven, can lose as many games as they win in the season so far. And for me, Hull FC should have put this game to bed by now. They've had enough chances and had a couple of soft sets at the other end of the field. The Giants are still in this game.
Well, that didn't help. That allowed the ball to bounce there. He really should have been running for it with the winger. He should have taken it on the full and the fly, and he should have got at least another 20 metres forward.
Yeah, he didn't fancy it, did he? Didn't fancy it at all.
And they're a side that's lacking in confidence. Bit of a swinging arm there by Joe Westerman.
Kyle Wood. Quick hands. And Wardle is spun to the ground.
That could have been a flop there by Rankin.
Ty again, spins out of the first tackle, can't get away from the next man in, Colbom and Ellis. Wood, infield it comes to Brough, a little fumble from Danny, and then gets a flat pass away. And Chan will play it to Brough again. And Brough, left-footed, into the corner. Leading the chase himself as well is Danny Brough.
Brilliant kick, he's up there. That's a good chase. Oh, big hit as well.
Well, it looked like it might have been a shoulder charge on the way then from Josh Johnson, but he missed, fortunately. Referee didn't have to put the whistle to his mouth.
Got to have control now of the Giants in defence. Don't flop, don't hold him down too long.
Oh, Cumberland throw from Earl Crabtree. He brought Talanoa to the ground.
I don't think he used the legs, Eddie.
Now,
big hit.
Went backwards, did it? It did go backwards. To play on, the referee will keep the tackle count going, though. And Rankin's having a great game. He gives it to Whiting. They're flooding up into... Oh, Whiting kicks for the corner. Invitation for Colbom. Broughton is there. Broughton picks up now. Then can he stay in the field of play? Yes, he can. Great play there just before half-time. They know it. Get the ball down there. No chance of Huddersfield coming back to get points before. And there it is. Half-time hoot. Yes, half-time siren. Paul Anderson with a little bit of work to do in that dressing room. But having conceded a 20-point advantage in the opening 18 minutes, at least the Giants steadied things down a bit and scored a try themselves from Jody Broughton inside the half hour. So 20 points to 6 at half-time. Not a winning lead, not yet. All to play for, second half.